Hi.
Hello, hello.
What's up?
Hello, everyone. I'm Nalle. And as Tress said, I'm here with my lovely co-commentators. If you want to introduce yourself.
I'm Average Greg. What's up?
I'm Danny B.
I'm Mute Nora.
Yeah.
And
all right. Well,
let's jump right into it, shall we?
yeah, I guess without further ado.
Still going with your fish file name?
Oh yeah, I still have the big fish file name.
Of course, the standard.
Yeah, I guess I'll do a little countdown.
I think Tress doing a countdown, right? I don't know.
Oh yeah, Tress, you doing countdown? Sorry, I already forgot.
How does this work? We are professionals.
Yeah, there's
Well, trust
a
us.
countdown in the channel that you got to ping in now.
You even got pinged.
Okay, 5, 4.
3, 2, 1.
All right.
Is there a go?
Is that a go? Oh,
Give us a go. Give us a go.
Okay, wait, okay. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Hey, we did it.
Okay,
The hardest
figured
part
it
is
out.
out of the way.
We did it. We got started.
Okay, well, with that out of the way, I guess we can talk about the run that I'm going to be doing.
Sure.
So, as Tress said, this is going to be Ocarina of Time, all dungeons, no SRM, run on the Wii Virtual Console. And that is of note because the route between the N64 version and the Wii route is very different due to, while on Wii you can use stick as adult, for example, that might not seem too important, but it unlocks a lot of possibilities routing-wise. And that crashes on N64, so you can't do those same things there. And N64 has access to a thing called blank A, which allows you to get automatic roll boundaries really early, way faster than you can do. Well, not anymore, but that's technicality.
Over here all there.
Yeah.
What's the name of this category mean, Nalle?
So all dungeons, the part of the name, points to the fact that we are going to be beating all the dungeons. And then no SRM means that we are going to be doing that without using SRM. And SRM stands for Stale Reference Manipulation and is probably without a doubt the most powerful glitch in the game.
One of the most powerful glitches found ever in like any game, to be honest.
Yeah, it's ridiculously busted. It breaks this game wide open. If you follow GDQ, you've seen ZFG run all dungeons with SRM. The last, I think it was SGDQ. And that was a very, very broken run.
Yeah,
and it's a lot shorter than this. And so because it's so different, we split all these categories so that SRM is allowed in some parts and not in others. And this is one of the categories that's split into two. So we get two different routes.
And every glitch is allowed in this run, except for SRM. And just that one ban doubles the length of the run. It's crazy. If
it's
you just
ridiculous.
run SRM, all dungeons with SRM, the run is like 36 minutes.
It's insane how much time it actually saves.
Yeah.
But having said that, this run is still very, very broken in very different ways.
Yeah, you'll be seeing a lot of the more quote-unquote classic OT glitches, if you want to put it like that. Like, we'll go more into detail when they come up, but you will see stuff like reverse bottle adventure and bottle adventure, tons of wrong warps and
cutscene skips, all that stuff.
All that good stuff.
Getting right into the glitches. Oh, go ahead.
Just quickly want to wrap this up and say thank you to TGH for your $20 donation, saying, hey all, thanks again so much for having us, and sorry once again for the schedule mishaps. Happy you could show off the game and looking forward to the Rendo and Aegis runs. TGH, thank you for being on. Don't worry about it. It all happens to the best of us. And thank you for your run and your donation.
Thank you very much. And so, straight off the bat, it's actually a little bit different than what Nalle normally does in attempts, because he's going to try to escape the forest here. Normally he would do this with using one Deku stick, but in the interest of marathon safety, he's using two here, so we can use a backup in case something goes wrong. So to escape the forest, he's going to attempt what's called a WES, a Water Extended Super Slide. When you recoil off something, you gain a lot of speed. When you go into water, you can actually retain that speed by holding just outside the dead zone of the controller. And he's going to use that to try to clip through the guard that blocks the entrance to Hyrule Field. And get out of the forest early. Nice.
Yeah, as you can probably tell, having broken his stick there, with just one stick, this is usually a one and done sort of deal, but absolutely perfect this time, so he won't be needing that second stick.
Easy trick.
Easy trick. Yeah, if he had failed that, he would have gone to Lost Woods and done a different escape, and gone the Ocarina much later. But now he gets the Ocarina right now, which saves about 55 seconds over leaving the forest through Lost Woods.
Yeah, I'm really glad I got that, though.
Yeah, a very strong start. Nice job.
Well done, man.
A bit awkward, but...
yeah, but a trick is not as easy as he made it look. It actually is decently hard to get down and get good at.
It's interesting because this trick is one of few in this game that cannot be pause buffered. So what you'll see a lot with hard tricks that require like really specific timing or specific frames is players like pausing to advance the game one frame at a time to make sure they get the right frames to do their inputs. But this one, you actually can't pause buffer the clip through the guard because the input you need is to talk to the NPC at the right time, and you can't talk to NPCs during the game's unpause lag. So you have to do it unbuffered. So Nalle is just that good.
Yeah.
I was technically cheating a little bit by having an item in my hand, which makes that trick a bit more lenient, but...
Yeah, it gives you an extra... It gives you an extra frame of leniency by having a stick or your sword in your hand while doing that trick.
So what's our roadmap for the next like segments of the run? What are we trying to accomplish?
All right, yeah. So the first things first, if you have any previous knowledge of Ocarina of Time speedruns, you probably know that the bottle is really, really, really useful. And
you missed a few reallys.
I did. And honestly, that's about it as a child, at least, because we can actually do all the dungeons as adults. And generally, if you can do something as adult and child, it's faster to do as adults. So we're going to be doing that. So we are just going to be going to Kakariko Village, collect some chickens, get ourselves a bottle, and then we're going to be going straight adults.
Yeah, this will be the last time you will be a child for now. We'll be child again a few more times in the run, but a little brief excursions.
Yeah, child has a very important job. Not the job that the Deku Tree had planned for us, but an important job nonetheless.
Well, eventually that plan, but...
So it's worth mentioning that the name of the run, All Dungeons, is not as self-explanatory as it may seem. Because there are quite a few places in this game that could be construed as a dungeon if you wanted to. But we are talking about only the main dungeons, the ones that you get either a spiritual stone or a medallion from. So notably, we do not have to beat Bottom of the Well, Ice Cavern, the Trading Ground, Ganon's Castle, only the 8 main dungeons.
Yeah, there was a big debate or discussion like a few years ago about whether or not Ganon's Castle counted as a dungeon or not. It was a pretty fun talk.
Yeah, that's one way to put it.
Yeah, there's still a few Ganon truthers around that like to sort of bring it up every now and again. But on the whole, yeah, most people are agreed that to make a neat definition, that anything with a blue warp fulfills that pretty nicely. So that's the sort of definition we tend to stick with when we talk about all dungeons.
Ah, nice. So, given these Cuckoos here is this sort of route for collecting Cuckoos has been around for years now. It's the most consistent and fastest route we have for this. Grab those over there, put them in the pen, and get these 3 over here as well. There is some RNG of this. They sort of move in a random pattern within a certain area, so they can actually troll you. But when you throw them or like damage them, then they'll run away from you. Like they'll run away from the point where you are, so you can sort of guide them in that direction.
Yeah, I'm gonna be doing that here. Like I throw this one down there, and you can see me here that I'm gonna be trying to like guide it towards the pen and try to not get it stuck on that corner.
Yeah, if you have more equipment, like a sword or some decker nuts, you can actually get them to start get them to start moving faster. But with only a few broken sticks, we can't really do much about that.
Yeah.
And here is the best item in the game, right here. That's one.
Yep. So you see me do a thing here, where I turn the camera to face the other way, so I can see where I'm going. It's very useful to help me from getting lost and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But
Telling yourself that.
yeah, it's completely optional, and a lot of the time actually slower than just backwalking normally. I just think it looks neat, and I think it's fun to do.
I just think it's neat.
Yeah.
Yeah, Nalle is known for, among other things, wasting a lot of time to invert jam.
Yeah.
I'm not used to the time of day there.
Yeah, normally when you normally you have the second stick to do that second west into Kakariko. So time of day is more advanced and it turns nighttime before you should get to the bridge.
If Nalle had missed getting into the castle and the drawbridge went up, then his only option would be to wait there for about a minute and a half before morning. So it's good with
Yeah.
me.
Yeah. Right, so here is... I guess you could call this the biggest sequence break, probably.
Absolutely. Yeah, this is like the most important trick in the entire game.
What sequence?
There's a sequence in this game. So that's the time skip.
Famous as well, yeah.
And I won boss. That was great.
About those
Very sick.
style dungeons.
Yeah, about the
Yeah.
child dungeons. They'll get done eventually, don't worry.
Most of them will be done very late as well.
It's just
We will-
faster to do them later.
We should note that Nalle equipped a empty bottle to his C right button. We're not going to talk about why that is right now, but just know that that's very important. Even though we're literally never going to use that bottle as Child Link, it's just very important that that's there.
Yeah, specifically on C right as well. It's very important, but we will explain that in due time.
Yeah, just gonna do a Keter and just say, just keep it in the back of your mind. You'll need to remember it later. But speaking of later, Danny, do you want to talk to us about the first instance of bottle being pretty ridiculous?
Yeah, sure. So the major next segment of the run is all going to revolve around bottles, and specifically a glitch called Reverse Bottle Adventure. So Nalle's got this bottle, and so just a little background about how like C buttons work to start off, right? So when you have an item on your C button, the game just has like a number in the memory address representing that C button that represents that item. So like Decker Sticks is item 0, for example. So if you have a Decker Stick equipped to C left, then the game will have just a number 0 in the C left memory slot. So what you need to do, or when you have a bottle equipped and you go and catch something, the game needs to know what C button you pressed in order to update the bottle on the C button, right? So let's say I have a bottle on C left and I catch a fish. The C left button is going to update from an empty bottle to a fish bottle. But what also needs to happen is the game needs to know which of the potentially 4 bottles in your inventory to change into a fish bottle as well, right? Because you have 4 different bottle slots, and so right now the game doesn't know which of those 4 bottles you had equipped. So you have to have some sort of reference to know where the bottle you equipped came from in your inventory. So what the game does is it keeps a reference to which inventory slot all of your items are equipped from. So when bottles are on C, this all works normally, right? So you swipe a bottle on C left, you catch a fish. C left updates to a fish bottle, checks where in inventory that particular bottle came from, updates your inventory to a fish bottle also. Easy. But that all breaks if you ever get a bottle on not a C button, in particular on the B button, which we can do through a variety of ways, and Nalle will show you a few of them over the course of this run. But we are going to get a bottle on our B button, and when we catch something in it, the game won't have a normal way to determine where in inventory that bottle came from, because it's not a real inventory bottle. And so what it ends up using, for reasons we won't get into, is the item that you have equipped on C right. and it interprets that as a location in inventory to write the bottle you just caught. So basically, by changing what item you have equipped on C write, you can change where in inventory that you're going to write the bottles that you just caught. And so we can use this to edit our inventory in lots of different ways. And it's going to be a really powerful glitch. We're going to do it quite a few times in this run. And one of the very next things Nalle is going to do is the first instance of that.
Yeah, so this next little section is just during RBA to get various different items that we need in the run.
Yeah, and specifically for RBA purposes, a lot of the items in the trade quest sequence for the Bigoran sword have very, very useful applications and give us a lot of stuff that we just need to go fast.
Yeah.
So you'll see me do... Oh yeah, sorry.
No, keep going.
Okay, yeah. So you'll see me do the Bigoran sword trade quest up to Poacher Saw specifically. And during that I'm sure we will explain what all the things I do actually impact when we get there.
Yeah, as it comes up, we'll go over them. You may have noticed there very quickly that Nalle had bombs on the C down button. When you go adult for the first time, the game automatically assigns Dekunats to C left if you have them, bombs to C down, and Ocarina to C right if you have one. I don't know why Ocarina isn't automatically equipped anyway either, because it just puts it again normally, but that's kind of a weird little quirk. But that bomb icon is a real bomb icon. If he gets bombs, he can use them with that icon. The downside is that through doing RBA and being able to use that bomb icon, if he ever equips over that icon, he can never use bombs ever again after a certain point in this run. Yeah. So it's a little scary. But if once you're used to it, you put them onto one button, you never touch that button ever again, and you're fine. But it can be a little bit scary when you're first starting out messing around with RBA stuff. If you're going with a bomb, it's kind of bad.
I just have a deep-seated fear of ever pressing my C down button, even in completely other contexts and runs.
Yeah. Like, it's the same when you're doing something like Bingo, for example, where you do RBA, like, a lot. Especially if you play on VC. You can't condition yourself to just be very careful in the menu to make sure you're equipping something that you should be equipping and not going over bombs and stuff like that. It's very, very... It can be a little, like, let's say a little bit scary, but once you get used to it, it's not that bad.
Yeah, it's a bit scary to just know that every single time I pause, I could potentially just lose my bombs forever. Hopefully that won't happen.
Hopefully.
It really shouldn't.
It really shouldn't, yeah.
But if it does...
A little tragic.
It would be really pretty rough, but now he's experienced enough that really shouldn't happen.
Yeah. Hopefully.
So
a lot of the equips we do and like the pause menu movement just happen to also go over the bomb icon, or like where the bomb icon is supposed to be. So hopefully I don't rush my equips too much and just throw them away, but it shouldn't happen.
Yeah. On the pause screen, when you pause for the first time in a new area, the cursor will be on Dekunats, which is also right next to bombs. You have to be pretty very careful when you're equipping stuff, because it is right there, just tempting you.
Yeah.
So one thing that just happened, which was very subtle, is that when Nalle went to go equip his shield, he also seemingly accidentally re-equipped his Master Sword, which was already equipped, but that wasn't an accident. Later on, if you ever die in this game without a sword on B, in particular when Nalle's going to have a bottle on B, the game will give you Deku Sticks on your B button after death if you've equipped a sword before. And since Nalle never got the Kiri sword, he hadn't. But if you've never equipped a sword before, your B button will be blank. But we want those Deku Sticks on B later when Nalle's going to die. So he re-equipped the sword on purpose to make sure that he gets Deku Sticks instead of blank B later on.
Yeah, I'm actually really surprised they only equipped it once as well, because usually that equip can be very annoying, and either you just miss the sword equip at all, or you equip it like 5 times before managing to move down to a shield.
Yeah, when you're equipping stuff in the equipment menu, there's a little bit of a delay compared to items, and so your normal muscle memory for equips is a little off in there. And so it usually ends up, you hit down, and nothing happens. You press A to equip the shield, nothing happens. You do it again. So you end up equipping like 2 or 3 times by accident.
Yeah, okay, so we are coming up to a pretty important part here. So bottle on B, Danny said earlier that that Nalle is going to be looking to get bottle on B. So how do we do that? Question. So like Danny said, the game always looks for the last button you pressed. So we need to find a way for Nalle to have pressed the B button last, for the game to think that the B button was pressed last, but for him to swipe with a bottle. So what you can do is you can do something called quick draw in water, which is where if you side up into water or jump into water or get interrupted, things like that, and you press B just before you hit the water, like I said, you'll put your sword away, but the game will consider your B button pressed, right? And then you can do something called a shield swipe, which involves swiping a bottle without the game updating that you've pressed the bottle button. So what it does is it updates your B button instead. And as you can see there, Nalle now has a bottle on B, which is extremely useful. So he's already, I think, has he dropped on bombs yet?
Yes.
Yeah, I have.
Yes. So he now, because he's dropped the bugs over bombs on C, right? He's put a bottle in his bomb slot, which allows him to get bomb drops. But that's not quite enough yet to reliably use bombs. So he can get drops, but he can't store anything yet.
Yeah, you need, because we've got a bomb icon on your bomb slot in your inventory. You can pick bombs up, but you can't actually like store them anyway. You haven't got a bomb bag to put them in, so you don't get anything. But luckily, there is a way for us to get a bomb bag very, very quickly.
Yeah, it's coming up.
In like 30 seconds, we'll have a bomb bag.
Yeah.
So this whole sequence was just to wake up the was hatch the egg. So you went to Ganon's castle to make it nighttime. You go to Ganon's castle, set it to nighttime, and then you can let time of day pass naturally while getting bottom B and damaging down that Poe, which it was intentional. He is going to need to die fairly soon, so taking that damage here is just doesn't waste any time at all. And in the process of getting bottle on B, he also RBA'd over his empty bottle on C right, which gave him another bottle over his third bottle slot. You see right there, it's got bugs in it now. And by catching these bugs with Kajiro on C right, he now has a... Oh, no!
No!
How much of that damage?
The hearts! Never mind.
Get bullied
Okay.
by the
Yeah, so by catching those bugs with Kajiro on C right, he now has a bomb bag that holds 40 bombs, which is the highest upgrade you can get in this game. As well as a glitched quiver that holds 20 arrows, which is not useful at all, but it's worth pointing out. And some other stuff, like his strength would have been set to 0 if he did it, but that's not important in this. You have strength to begin with.
Yeah, and it's worth noting here, like I say, if he hadn't have dropped something over his bomb slot, that pot would be empty. So, like I say, you need both things. You need to be able to get bomb drops, which is where the bombs comes from, and you also need to be able to store bombs, which is why you need the bomb bag. So now that he has both of those things, he can not only get bomb drops from pots and bushes and all the rest of it, he can also store them as he has now. So as long as he doesn't equip over bombs now, he realistically has just 40 bomb bag and explosives at this point, which alongside bottle, very powerful.
Yeah. Best times
Also,
in
I
the
hope
game,
you're not-
explosives and bottle.
Yeah, and I hope you're not attached to the Master Sword, because those two
yeah.
stabs
It's
I did
fun.
on the wall to set up for bottle on B in the river there, that's the last time you're going to see it.
Yeah.
We use Master Sword to immediately get rid of the Master Sword and nothing
Yeah.
more.
It's not useful at all. We have, like we said before in the intro, you can use Decker Sticks as adult on VC. And that's going to be our main source of damage in this run.
So all the stuff we do with bottle isn't counted as SRM because it isn't SRM in any way, shape or form. We have a very strict definition for SRM, and none of the things we do in this run fall under that. You're not manipulating stale references at all. It's just a quirk of how the game manages equips and memory.
There's another question from chat. Can you RBA your bomb count without having anything in your bomb slot? Yes, you can. You can use milk on C right to modify your bomb count. But if without anything in your bomb slot, or if you can't equip the bombs, then you won't be able to use them. But then as soon as bombs appear, you will have that many bombs that you RBA from putting.
Yeah. If you haven't got a bomb bag, then that'll just be one bomb, basically. You'll have one bomb to use.
Yeah, if you ever have more than the maximum you're allowed to hold given your carrying capacity, then the next time you update the count by using one or collecting more, it will immediately snap to 0. So you get basically one bomb.
We'll see that as well in this run with Nani's Deku Sticks. He's going to be using RBA to get a bunch of Deku Sticks. That's a shame. And the way he does RBA, it says it will display as 20 Deku Sticks, but because he's only got a 10 stick capacity, it's actually 11 Deku Sticks. As he'll break one, it'll get them down to 10 to the max capacity. So now they're just trying to get a. So you go. Yeah, you go for it. Go for it.
Cool. So Nalle was going for a. Are you a flipper or a hopper, Nalle?
I'm a flipper all the way.
You're a flipper. He was going for a mega flip there, and the mega flip gives you a lot of speed off a bomb, and then if you hit water afterwards, that allows you to maintain that speed the same way as the escape you did earlier. If you hold ESS position into water, it maintains his speed, and it would have just allowed him to get across spiral field much quicker, but bomb count is quite tight in this, so failing that a couple of times, you can't really go for it again at this point. You just don't have enough bombs, it's quite constrained at this point in the run.
Yeah, worth noting, in normal attempts, optimal to go with 5 bombs, unless you get lucky with a bomb drop from that rock in the graveyard. And so, if you got 5 bombs, it's actually bomb perfect. So if you fail that, you just walk and take a time loss.
So we just backflip straight over Mito's head there. He's blocking the way to the Sacred Forest Meadow. But when you are in aiming mode with the hookshot, you can press A near NPCs without talking to them, and so you can just use those A presses as
Ooh. Oh, that was close.
That was real close.
That was close. So
yeah, so we're trying to ground jump up to the top of this maze here, but we need this moblin to cooperate a little bit.
You wanna
move, buddy? Thanks.
I think I was
just standing there, menacing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
that's fine. That's fine.
Not even close. It was fine.
Whoops.
Oh my god.
So basically what happened there is when Nalle grabbed the bomb but also shielded the grab to sort of cancel it, he was basically grabbed storage, and then the next backflip or side hop you do will just sort of pop you off the ground a little bit and let you grab ledges. Kind of like Mario.
Yeah, kind of
exactly like Mario.
Unlike Mario. But no, like I was going to say, let's talk about cutscene skips.
Yeah,
let's
true.
do that.
So Nalle there, you might have seen, he just died. Very sad, but it served a purpose, because in this game, if you die on the exact same frame as you enter a cutscene with a song, things like that, the game gives you the song at the start of the cutscene, and it gives you it again when you learn it. But we don't need it twice, so as long as we get that first frame, the game gives us the song, and then we can just die and respawn at the start of wherever we started from. So he now has Minuet, and that cutscene's completely cleared, but we didn't have to watch any of it because, well, he died. So the game doesn't make you watch it when you're dead.
And since he died... Oh, go ahead, Nalle.
No, I just want to say it's very nice that we don't have to watch that while also dead.
Yeah, it's very lucky in this game that you get stuff right as cutscenes start. It's true of most things. And then I was going to say that you'll notice that Nalle now has a Deku Stick on B instead of Bottle, which is what I mentioned earlier, how if you die with a Bottle on B, you'll either get Deku Sticks or blank B, depending on whether or not you had equipped a sword. And the reason why we want Deku Sticks is because we're going to be getting Bottle on B again, and having Deku Sticks on B is a really easy way to transition back into Bottle on B. If the B button was blank right now, it would be kind of tricky to get Bottle on B again. But we're not done with our reverse bottle adventure shenanigans, which is exactly why Nalle is going through his trading sequence, bringing a mushroom to an old lady. It's relevant to the dungeons, I promise.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So
There will be some dungeons in this all dungeon speedrun eventually.
yeah, there's a lot of setup for this. The first half an hour, 35 minutes or so, is literally just all set up for the rest of the run, and it's just like after that point, it's just a complete dungeon rush. We have a lot of things to get, as you'll see very shortly.
It highlights just a really cool feature of Ocarina of Time, I think, how we can, like, route something, which is a very long and complicated goal, and do absolutely none of it for a huge portion of the run, just because we know that it'll make the rest of it faster afterwards. Like, it's really cool routing-wise, how that can work out.
Yeah, as you can see, he has Minuet. He's playing it to get back to Lost Woods quickly.
Yeah.
Actually, the most played song in the entire run.
Oh yeah, most played song by far, which is also why getting Ocarina is really worth it, just because the amount of songs you play in this.
The alternative, of course, would be the Ocarina Items glitch, where you can use a bottle, imagine that, to play a fake Ocarina, and basically use it for anything you'd need an Ocarina for. But in order to do that, you would need to drop and recatch whatever is in your bottle every time you wanted to use the fake Ocarina, and that's like a full 10 seconds or more every time you want to use a fake Ocarina. So getting the Ocarina is just faster, even though you have to watch the long cutscene for it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think it's like 9 songs, I think, is the point where Ocarina becomes worth it. It is for Bingo, at least. I don't know about this run, but like I think being able to West Escape in of itself just saves enough time combined with Ocarina to make it worth it.
Yeah, so this is another test now. You guys remember when I said that getting a bottle on B is there are a few ways you can do it. So one of those ways is when you see Nalle pressing B there, where he has no sticks. So what does the game do? It doesn't let him pull a stick. But,
It makes a very angry noise.
It makes a very angry noise. So what you can do with this is actually one of the easiest ways to get bottle on B, which ironically enough needs bottle on B in the first place. So if you have nothing, then you can hit your B button and nothing will happen. So if you can like go into a bottle state, so when you're crouched, you have a bottle in your hand, and then press B, and then shield swipe, it's a really free and easy way to do it because again the game doesn't pull a stick, so the bottle never leaves your hand. So that's the sort of the way that from this point onwards, because we never have a sword again, it becomes extremely easy to do it that way. And like I say, Nalle will eventually, after this, I believe, showcase that. But this is just another example of dying into a cutscene, but using a heat death instead.
Yeah.
So the floor behind that statue was hookshotable for some reason. You can hookshot the floor behind that statue, and that's how Nalle clipped through it.
Yeah, just poke the hookshot barely through the corner there and just hookshot right past it.
Yeah, there's actually a few places in this game where there's like hookshot collision where there really shouldn't be. Either from like, we assume it's like there was going to be hookshot plates on a few walls and they end up being removed, but the collision was removed. That one I have no idea why it's there.
Yeah.
That one just exists.
Dev's messing around. This chest, by the way.
20 bombs. Best chest in the game. So this grotto, Nate's been doing a bunch of RBA for many different things. So he just caught bugs with Poacher Saw and C, right? That gave him some songs. It gave him Zelda's Lullaby, Nocturne Shadow, Prelude of Light, and Serenade of Water. Here, he's gonna dupe a fairy. He's going to dupe a bottle fairy over his saw, because he's used a saw and doesn't need it anymore, so just dupe over that. So now he's got a bottle fairy over his Poacher Saw slot. By dropping these bugs with Fairy on C, right, give himself 20 Deku Sticks, which is actually 11 Deku Sticks because it's above the capacity. And here, could catch a fish. Could catch a fish with Hookshot on C, right? And that's to give him a bottle over his Ice Arrows slot with a fish in it. So now he's got a bunch of that grotto. He has a bunch of songs, some sticks, and as well as a bottled fish over his Ice Arrow slot. And those will all be useful in this run.
Good job,
Straight away.
That was a lot.
That was great.
That was a lot.
Give Craig a round of applause in the chat.
That was
a long
play-by-play goal.
RBA knowledge comes in handy. And as you can see here, playing Zelda's Lullaby, never went to Zelda and got the song, but he has it. And he's used it straight away to get magic.
Yeah. So after this, we're going to see some dungeons.
Yeah, that's the end of the setup.
Oh my god.
End of the setup.
Crazy.
We're only, what,
33 minutes in?
33 minutes in. Not that bad.
Yeah, it's not that bad. Yeah.
So we've got that
Then-
fairy in our inventory. Fairies are pretty interesting because when you die, right, you're supposed to, if you have a fairy in your inventory, then normally you get revived immediately and it gets spent. But that actually only works if the fairy is in one of the 4 natural bottle slots. So because we duped that fairy over our poacher saw, that fairy now lives in our adult trade item slot in our inventory. So if we die, it won't save us. Unless it's equipped on C, and there's also a real fairy in our inventory.
Yeah.
So it's a little complicated, but that fairy is going to come in handy later. And you see why.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We get a lot of use out of it before it serves its main purpose, to get more Deku Sticks.
Yeah, because
Yeah, it's
as
another thing.
Greg mentioned earlier, dropping or catching something on your B button with Fairy on C right points to your Deku Stick count. And since that's effectively our only weapon that deals damage throughout the run, we need to do that quite a few times.
Nalle, you missed the key. You missed the small key.
I'll go back.
Go back.
later.
Go back.
I'll
yeah,
be
yeah.
back in Forest Temple later. It's okay. I'll get it.
Yeah. Okay, yeah.
And thus starts our saga of dungeons. You might notice as we go through these dungeons that we don't really do that much of them.
Oh yeah.
Wow, spoilers.
Yeah, the term all dungeons is a little disingenuous because we actually skip most of the dungeons. In most cases, there's a few here and there you have to do a bit more work, but for the most part, it's literally just going to be walk into the dungeon, kill the boss, and leave.
Nice
Yeah, so
Nice
Nalle
bomb.
here is going to effectively do a ledge clip here, which is basically just Link, clipping through ledges. It's quite an interesting name, I think. But luckily for us, this void here, this out of bounds, it's the boss door. It's right above the boss loading zone.
Yeah, so
So-
you just fall into it.
You just fall in, and this loading zone is accessible from a lot of different places in Forest Temple, but luckily for us, it's accessible from literally the main room.
Yeah,
So,
because
here's
the boss room
Ganon.
because the boss room is underground in the basement, you can just jump right into it.
Also, I have sticks equipped.
Oh yeah,
How'd that happen?
That's wild, man.
Yeah.
So when in this game, there's a lot of items that are restricted to only being equipped as child or adult Link. Deku Sticks in particular are supposed to be a child Link item only, and if you look in the pause menu as adult, they'll be grayed out, and if you try to equip them, you'll get one of those angry buzzer sounds we were talking about before. He's just destroying all his Deku Sticks for fun.
Yeah, I don't
Need
need
to go
that
waste
many. I don't need that
Fine.
many.
Got plenty.
But so there was a glitch discovered in like 2017. It's like 4 years old at this point, called Equip Swap, where if you highlight the item you want to equip, even if it is not supposed to be equipable, you menu away from the item screen, like to the map or something, and then you menu back to the item screen. And on the very first frame, you equip something else, something that you can equip. Then what the cursor has highlighted has not been updated yet. So you can equip things you weren't supposed to equip. So now Nalle has Deku Sticks on C down. He's using them to kill this boss.
We're trying to.
Yeah. He's also taken advantage of the infamous sword glitch and power crouch stab here, which I'm going to explain to you. In this game, the crouch stab attack has no assigned value. It just copies the damage and the damage type of the last weapon attack you did, which could be any of the swords, sticks, or hammer. And so he did a jump slash with a Deku Stick, which is 4 damage, and then crouch stab with it to get ISG, the infamous sword glitch, where your sword is swimming in every frame. And so what that means is that his crouch stabs do 4 damage. And so combine that with the infamous sword glitch, it means you do 4 damage to something every single frame. So you're able to kill enemies like Phantom Ganon there very quickly. Because you're just constantly doing damage to him. And it's going to use that an awful lot in this run to do many different things. Mostly just kill bosses really, really quickly.
Also, dropping fish with fish on C, right? This is going to be useful later. Also moving the bee fish that I had to the bottle 1 slot, which is also going to be important later.
Yeah, I'm going to be important much later. In like 10 minutes or so, we'll come back to that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's important he has that fish in that specific bottle.
Here I'm trying to do a cutscene skip.
Yeah, this uses the exact same principle as before, where we die in cutscenes, but this is going a bit further, where we do OI, or Ocarina items, onto the warp to stop ourselves getting dragged away immediately and give ourselves a bit of control. And then we can cancel that and then sort of kill ourselves with a bomb or whatever, but it has to be on a specific frame of the warp. You know, if we go early, if we go late, it won't work, so there are various setups for all the different warps that, you know, Nalle will show a few of them in the run.
Yeah, the whole point of the setup... Okay, Steve guess this first.
It's one of my favorites.
I love this trick.
Hey Dan, do you want to talk us through floating point numbers?
Oh yeah, sure, definitely.
Oh, my favorite topic.
So what happened? What happened to the room, Nalle? There's no doors. The sky.
It's just there, man.
I don't know, dude. I just press some buttons and things happen.
So there's the maps in this game are divided into rooms, right? And when you're in one room, all the other ones are unloaded. A lot of the entities in that room are not there. The textures are not there. And those rooms are separated often by invisible loading triggers, where when you walk through them, it unloads the room you were in and loads the room you're about to go into. Those loading triggers are about 50 distance in-game units wide, and things in this game can push you, sort of like teleport you small distances, and 3 bombs stacked on top of each other. Their pushing is additive, and so you actually get 3 bomb pushes all together, and Nalle placed those bombs right next to the load trigger so that the combined pushback from all 3 bombs, not their explosions, just the bombs themselves, pushed Link a little more than 50 units across the load plane entirely in one frame without ever touching it, and made it through to the unloaded room.
Yeah, it's actually pretty cool. If you go back later and watch that and pin it to the map, you'll see the little arrow that signifies Link just kind of like shift very quickly. And it's pretty interesting.
The same idea? A bit.
Oh, that was early, I think.
Yeah, that was early.
So here he's trying to do a boss key skip, similar to Forest Temple. This one's a bit more complicated. We call it bow key skip. He's going to do bomb pushes here. And these bombs are going to push him through the corner of the wall and then let him get out of bounds. And below this room, like down and like behind him, is the room with the boss door at the end of the dungeon. And so if he can get out of bounds, he can find his way to the load zone of the boss room, similar to in Forest Temple. This trick is pretty precise. He's going to try and buffer through this. So he's going to get a Hess here.
Nalle, sorry, yeah.
Yeah, he's going to get a Hess.
This is the same as entering Shadow Temple in principle. So he's put 2 bombs down behind him.
Okay. Well,
so this is pretty precise, like we said, so it might take a few attempts. If he runs out of bombs, it's not a big deal. He can go farm them in graveyard outside and come back in. It's not going to be the worst time loss.
Oh my god.
Oh, wow. How are you? Okay, last attempt.
But yeah, no, like I was saying, it's the same principle where he puts 2 bombs behind him in a specific position. And when he gets this Hess, which is extended super slide, very long word, just means getting a lot of speed off the bomb. This might not work either.
I have his skill. Okay, I think you're supposed to do the bombs, the 2 bombs.
Oh,
okay,
no, there we go.
Oh, I guess I was wrong.
But yeah, those 2 bombs just give him...
That's a shame. That's a shame. That's not the worst. You can go get more bombs. Unfortunately, the trick is very precise. You have to. So what he was trying to do was get a Hess to get enough speed to clip out of bounds, and then from there you can angle the Hess such a way to go right on top of the load zone, just fall into the load zone. But it is precise. The load zone is not that big. So you have to like switch around very, very quickly.
And not only that, the entire area surrounding the loading zone is made up of what we call fall distance voids. So there's like a few different ways you can void out in this game, which is like when you a little zone out sound and reload. Sometimes you can just touch something that makes you void out. Other times, if you just fall a certain distance while anywhere directly above a certain floor, call the fall distance void, then you'll void out. So Nalle was like way high up above the floor down there, but just falling a couple hundred units is enough to make him void out. So he couldn't even like fall into the room below and just get the boss key from there.
I'm gonna get some more.
Yeah. You broke a stick there. Are you okay on stick count?
I should be fine with 3.
Okay. Making sure.
Also worth noting that if there was ever a time to die in this run, it's now. So
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
later on in this run, accidental deaths will be very, very punishing. So
Oh, yeah.
this is not the worst thing that could happen for sure.
Yeah, because if you die with stick on B, you just respawn with stick on B. It's not that bad. Other items,
Let's go with
not so
15.
much. 15 should be fine.
Yeah, I think this actually gives us a
I
good
use
time.
instead.
Actually. Yeah, this gives us a good time now that Nalle is setting this up. But although actually this is a cool trick, so maybe we should talk about this. This is a cool backup that you can do called a hookshot jump, and it works in a very magical way that I think is a big long pace spin somewhere. But it basically allows you to get a big jump, a big old jump with a hookshot off hookshotable surfaces. And he can then jump onto this seam here and walk all the way to the Shadow Temple, basically. If you don't get stuck, that is.
Yeah, you're fine. You're fine.
Fine.
That's fine. It's actually fine to explain this now because we might be seeing another hookshot jump in the run very shortly. Although that one's a bit different. We'll see when we get there.
It works
Well,
off the
it's the
same
same
principle.
principle.
Yeah.
It's the same principle, but just kind of unique. All right, round 2.
Let's do it, round 2.
Oh, should
He doesn't
be
need
worth
to-
noting. You might be wondering why I didn't just save like after I failed the trick a few times. There's a pretty good reason for that. Because if I ever save and like reload my save right now with stick on my B button, I would lose that. And I don't want to lose that.
The game has some quite aggressive, I don't know, I call them anti-dumb protections in the game. So it will always try, like Danny said, if you have something that isn't sort of masked on your B button, the first time it will give you blank B or stick, but then if you save and reset, it will always try and give you back like masked again. And I think this was put in after 1.0, right, when they realized that people were save warping out of the Ganon fight without a sword. And they couldn't get their sword back. So I think from 1.1 onwards, this is sort of an anti being dumb with your B button sort of restriction. But it kind of screws us over sometimes, especially in things like this where we don't want things that are the master sword on B. Everyone's staying deadly quiet to this focus.
Why?
I think you have to drop the
Doesn't
last 2
matter.
bombs in the right order, I think.
That doesn't matter, but
I don't know. Are you holding straight right for the hiss?
too much straight right.
That's too much. That's too much straight right. All right, back to the graveyard, I guess.
Yeah, back to the graveyard. Well then, okay.
This is unfortunate. This
Presence
trick
of mind
is
to a quick death warp. That was good.
a little bit faster than playing Nocturne. Actually, no, Nocturne probably faster. Actually, now thinking
Oh yeah,
about it.
Doctor's probably faster. Yeah.
Okay.
Ocarina anyway. Okay.
Maybe just go farm a ton of bombs.
Yeah. That
It's like
was a
go
bit
between Danpe's
embarrassing.
grave and the grass and just try and
Yeah.
farm as many as you can.
So while Nalle's farming, this gives us a fair bit of time actually. Shall we talk about Virtual Console and its many charms?
Oh yeah.
How they relate to Nalle's Decky Stick.
Sure.
So you might have noticed that Nalle's running the VC version, and we said earlier that the N64 version is the route itself is very different. It's different because it has 1.0 specific things, It's also different because it can't do the primary driving force for this entire route, which is stick as adult. N64 crashes if you try and pull a stick as adult. VC does not. And this allows us to do a lot of different things with RBA, and later on we'll see the reverse of RBA, which, you guessed it, is RRBA, or just BA.
Yeah. Reverse bottle adventure, my favorite trick.
Reverse, yeah.
Reverse.
So it's quite interesting how there is an error that happens when you pull stick, but VC just kind of ignores it, which is the quirk of the machine. But it allows this whole route to work, so we are thankful for that.
Yeah,
that's also a big question that we're asking ourselves about the Switch version coming out tonight. It's going to be tomorrow morning, I guess. There's going to be a lot of testing to see what sorts of emulator quirks work.
That's fine. Yeah, that's coming out either tonight or we don't know actually what release times are, so we're just going to find out. Maybe wondering actually, after obviously the Wii. Obviously, after the Wii came out, the Wii U came out, and that's also OT is also on the Wii U. So why am I using the Wii U version? The Wii U version is terrible. That's why. There's a ton of input delay. A lot of the textures and graphics are just really strange. And also, Stick as Adult, it doesn't crash the Wii U, but it has a lot of weird quirks. It gets rid of a lot of textures in the game.
Link's torso.
Like Link's torso, and water just disappears,
and
for example. Yeah, everything just
again.
it's just oh no, that's fine. So yeah, it works, but it doesn't work well. It's also just a terrible console to play on in general, and no one uses it. It's not useful for anything, as far as I know.
Well,
I think it has uses. I think. Oh yeah, it has better loading times. I think it has worse lag though.
Yeah. No, it's better. I think it's better.
Oh, really?
I think Wii U is literally just better in every way than Wii, but it sucks to play on.
Yeah, it's just awful to play on.
Yeah,
it is in theory faster for something like glitchless, but no one's gonna play on Wii U.
Faster for basically things that don't need some crazy Wii stuff. So normal stuff like glitchless, DSR. I think
that's fine. You can buy another stick later.
You could also just do RBA right now if you wanted to.
You can also.
I guess I could, yeah, actually.
You could RBA whenever you want, and then just die to get stick on V again.
Yeah, and then just equip swap sticks later.
Or you could just equip swap sticks for the fight.
Yeah, I think I'm just gonna do that.
Yeah.
Okay, routing on the fly.
Yeah, so basically,
okay,
so Nalle needs 2 sticks at minimum after this, and he broke too many of them, so he has to just RBA more quickly.
I think I want that fish still there, though. So.
Yeah, you need it later.
Keep it in the back of your mind.
Yeah. Well, that fish is also your ball 1 fish, which you actually do need. So yeah.
Just back of the mind.
Yeah.
Quite lucky.
It will be on the test.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is weird, because this is the trick that went absolutely flawlessly in practice. So that's typical,
classic,
I guess.
Yeah. It is, yeah. It's fine.
We'll just stay quiet until you get this.
Get over early roll.
Early roll, yeah.
I'm just gonna buffer the entire thing again.
That's fair.
Yeah, that makes sense.
If I can buffer.
Oh my god, please.
Just reminds me of Project 64, man. It sucks.
Oh no.
Gonna get a frame by frame here.
Next slide, please.
Or
What the hell? Why is that working?
okay, you
That
know
looked
what?
correct.
Let's do this. The good old.
Oh, the
Good old
classic setup, yeah. Count, your setup didn't work.
Yeah, blame count. If this works now, we can.
Okay, well, he picked up the setup, so it's not gonna.
final check. It's okay if you die right now. You're set up to die potentially.
Oh yeah, bottom B, you're okay.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Just want to make sure.
Don't die though. Don't die just because Danny said it's okay. I believe in you.
Thanks.
A.
Hey.
That looks good.
We're in there.
Oh
All
my
right.
god.
All right. No,
This
you
is
need
a
to
bit
you,
awkward, actually.
you need to hook shot still. Just jump slash get ISG and then equip over 6
Yeah.
in the fight.
Yeah. Okay.
Wait,
Wait.
What? What?
What?
Oh, I didn't unequip hover boots.
Oh, you don't need to. You don't need to, right?
Wait, don't you?
If you, are you did up left strat or are you doing a different one?
I did the up left strat.
You shouldn't need to unequip hover boots.
Hmm.
But I think that works fine.
Yeah, well, I don't need to equip swap 6 anymore though, so that's something.
That's handy.
I've literally never seen that.
I
before in my
don't
life.
understand what's happening. I really don't understand what's happening.
Is this the obligatory? That's never happened before.
Kinda.
Yes, sir.
No, I've got a theory. Obviously we have Switch coming out soon. Nintendo
So
with
the Wii is fighting back.
Nintendo
Nintendo
with
of
the
America.
Shadow Patch, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm actually just playing on the early release of the Switch version instead.
Oh, I see. Yeah, for anyone uninitiated, like I say, if you when it comes out on Switch, Ocarina of Time will have been released on every single home console since the N64, so you have no excuse to not learn the game.
That's a good point.
Yeah, if you have a 64, a GameCube, a Wii, a Wii U, or a Switch, you too can get involved.
This is weird because I never usually
Yeah.
never pause this, so.
Yeah, I understand. It's a little bit
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
This
Yeah,
is
especially when
going
you start
wonderful.
failing stuff, like you start to get into your own head about it, and it gets harder. It gets easier to fail. Such a shit feeling. Yeah, don't feel peer pressure or anything, but you know, I do expect you all to pick up the game.
What the fuck? Why didn't that work?
I'm very confused right now, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm completely out of ideas, to be honest.
I don't understand why it's not working. That looked absolutely
I know
perfect.
this corner is kind of jank sometimes, but it's never this jank, you know? Like,
Yeah, like
Yeah.
I've used that backup so many times. It's the drops.
maybe
What do
just
you mean?
slow
Count?
down. Maybe just slow down your second 2 drop. You're doing them really quick, and I'm not
Maybe.
in time.
Maybe it's like the you know how when you try and do.
But yeah, you can back up
Shadow.
too early.
I meant
sometimes.
like you know we did Enter Shadow and you do like the quick bomb drops. It doesn't work. It might be like that.
Maybe.
Like just like space it out a bit more. But this is how you normally do it and it always works. So
Okay.
Worth sort of
Okay.
checking.
Let's unequip this now.
okay.
Yeah!
Yes!
Yay!
did it.
That only took. Oh my god.
10 minutes or something. Don't worry about it. It's fine. Like you got estimate up to wazoo. You're good.
Okay. Hopefully that's the last. That's not even really like usually a major
Yeah.
mistake that can happen, but
That's just very unfortunate. I wasn't sure why some of those were failing. It's probably a really good
first
explanation for it, but I
try,
don't know.
baby.
Alright, not bongo.
Okay, yeah, not a bongo. Okay.
Okay, easy ISG.
I'm gonna drop this fish here, which is gonna be useful.
Yep, need this fish, very important.
Yeah, it's mostly just to have it is only to have a bottle in hand, which matters after we kill Bongo, because we're
Oh,
gonna
he's
be
dead.
doing one of the other death cutscene skips, where we do Ocarina items on the blue warp. And we're also, while we're doing that, I'm gonna start to. I just feel like chucking some nuts. I think I have too many.
You have too many, really. Yeah, you need to
Yeah.
like line the load a little bit. They're weighing you down or anything.
Yeah. So I think
I
I'm
only
gonna.
remember you ever picking up 5 from that pot. Where'd you get the rest?
Oh yeah, back in Forest Temple. So I dropped my D fish. with fish on C right. And fish points to nut amount. So when I did that, I actually got way more than that. But luckily, since our nut capacity is only technically 20, even if it says I have 25 there, goes on 20. And I want exactly 17.
17 is a very important number, yeah.
Yeah, 17 seems like a good number to have.
It's a nice number. I like 17.
Yeah. Who wants to take why that is a very good number?
I could do it. So,
Go ahead, Danny.
There's an inverse to reverse bottle adventure, an adventure called Just Bottle Adventure. JBA, as we call it, Just Bottle Adventure.
Yep, that's what we all call it.
No, it's RRBA.
It's how it's known.
And so RBA, what it does is it reads a value from your C right button as place to put an item in your inventory, right? So it takes items from B and puts them into your inventory depending on what's on C right. Bottle Adventure, what it does is it takes an item or a number from your inventory and puts it on B instead. Sort of just the exact reverse process. And so the number in inventory that we're going to be reading as an item is Nalle's Deckanut count, which is 17. So Bottle Adventure is a little bit simpler to do than RBA. If you if you use the Master Sword pedestal as adult, and you have a bottle on B already, you go back in time with an item on. It'll use the item on Child Link's C right to determine where in inventory to look, so that when you go adult again, you get an item on B, depending on the item in inventory that you're using. So right now we're using his nut count, which is 17. We're getting a bottle on B, going back in time. That item that Child Link, or that bottle that Child Link had equipped on his C right button from the very beginning that we said keep in mind, is going to come in handy right now. That's going to point to Nalle's nut count. We're going to go forward in time. 17 nuts is going to turn into item 17 on the B button. And item 17 is, I'll just let you find out.
This cutscene of suspense here.
What's it going to be?
What could it be?
What's it going to be? What's it going to be? What's this box?
It could be any item in the game. What do we pick?
Oh, it's a hammer.
Pikachu.
That's a pretty good.
Yeah, so the hammer on B
button.
is very, very, very useful. Because we only really need it once in the entire run, and that is to defeat Volvagia. And instead of doing the whole ordeal of going to Fire Temple to get the legit hammer, we can just put it on our B button.
And the hammer is very deep into Fire Temple. It's a very, very annoying item to get if you need to get it for real. Luckily, all we needed is just to stab the boss a couple times. Volvagia will only be able to be stunned if you use the hammer.
Yeah, the hammer is absolutely required to beat the game. To beat Volvagia.
So now he's on fire.
He's on fire.
And that was on purpose.
Now he's on fire.
Yeah, I have very, very little health right now.
Very little.
In fact, he has the minimum possible health without dying. So you might think, oh, quarter heart, but no. In fact, it's a 16th of a heart. This game tracks your health in 16ths. It just only displays in quarters. And fire is one of the few damage sources that can actually decrement your health in 16ths. You just can't see it, but Nalle timed ending the fire damage at a perfect moment to make sure that he had exactly 1/16 of a heart. And if you notice, he's hanging around in this room right now. Ignore the fact that he's about to fly up in the sky while I finish explaining this. He's hanging out in this room right now, which is a hot room, and he does not have the Goron tunic. When you have a 16th of a heart, the game actually it references your health to know how much time to give you on the timer. It ticks down until your death, and when you have a 16th of a heart, it counts you as basically having 0, so it just never pulls up the timer in the first place. So very useful to get around hot rooms without using the tunic.
Yeah, and you also notice he did a glitch called time stop to keep the camera away from Darunia, because that just starts the cutscene of him talking to you. And you can use that cutscene to do a hookshot jump, like you saw earlier in Graveyard. and you go fly way up above into a room above you. We normally knock down the pillar to get to the boss door. And from that room, you can do a ledge clip and then jump slash out bounds to fall into the boss loading zone, like we've seen before in Forest Temple and Shadow Temple. So now it's in the boss room. We have to do any of the dungeon.
Yeah.
But the downside though of being at 116 health is that any damage will kill him, which includes these lava pits. These lava pits will hurt you instantly. You should walk on them and go into Nuka Grip. So as this fight, he cannot take any damage whatsoever. He has to be very, very careful.
It's a double whammy actually as well, because not only do you die here, if you die with, as we said earlier, if you die with things on B, the game doesn't like that. And it especially doesn't like it when you have hammer. It's going to get rid of his hammer. And as we saw, getting hammer on B, it's not a crazy long process, but like I say, in a run like this, it's quite bad. So he would have to go through Temple of Time, go Child again, all that sort of work.
Oh no!
There it is.
Troll hole!
Of course.
Of course, marathon luck.
Of course.
So yeah, there's 9 of those little lava holes hanging around, and Volvagier can pop up out of any of them. It just so happens that one in the front middle is the one that we need to drop bombs on to damage her. She actually has 2 different hitboxes. The one that normally flies around is hanging out underground when it's not being used. So if she ever pops up out of that hole while you're trying to bomb it, it can be very tricky to avoid taking damage. So got very unlucky there.
Yeah.
Picking up the boss key as a backup because we already spent the Darunia cutscene, so we can't actually do that hookshot jump again to skip the boss door.
Yeah.
Luckily, the hammer is very far into the dungeon, but the boss key is not. So
yeah,
that backup going for us.
Yeah, so he did trickle a weird shot, which is a trick that how do I put this? It basically displaces your.
It's very weird.
It's very weird, exactly. It displaces your first-person hitbox underground or underneath the floor, and from there you can actually use first-person items like the bow and hookshot to you actually fire them underground. If you attach something with the hookshot, you'll actually get pulled towards it, and you can bypass gates like that. You can bypass walls entirely. Very useful in areas with a lot of hookshot collision, like War Temple and Grid Training Grounds. It doesn't actually get used a whole lot in runs anymore, but it's very prevalent in Bingo.
I also want to mention that this category, it's really tricky, and also it is actually the oldest, longest standing Ocarina of Time world record of any category except for glitchless 100%, which is very inactive. And Nalle is currently shooting for the world record in this category, and he's getting very, very, very close. So it's very exciting to see this world record finally fall sometime soon.
Yeah.
Probably not in this run, though.
Maybe not. Maybe not this
run.
Not
that one.
But yeah. So as they went over, since I did die during the fight, I lose my hammer, so I have to go and do this again to get it back. It's a bit of a trek, but it's unfortunately the best option I have.
Yeah, this is actually faster than just doing dungeon normally and getting the hammer.
Yeah.
There's no way around it, unfortunately.
Yeah, there's just another part of this run is there's not a ton, or there's a lot of places where if you mess up, you just lose a lot of time.
Yeah, this is a really hard category to finish runs of because there are so many places where if one thing goes wrong, that it's over.
Yeah, so I'm gonna void here again because I need to damage down to get the 116 heart again. Anyway, okay, round 2.
Round 2, you got this. You got this.
There are, like I say, we did say Nalle did get a troll hole there. It's what we call when Volvagier sort of pops out of that one. There are things you can do. There are strategies you can do that will sort of let you do the fight, even if that happens once, or it can happen on both phases. But if you're not, where's the keys?
Where's the keys?
There it is.
Oh, did you cut it by accident?
Okay.
Alright.
But yeah, if you're not expecting, or if you're not prepared for the troll hole, if you're not just sort of going into it really focused, then yeah, she can just yeah, completely ruin your day.
Wait, I don't need to do time stop again. What am I?
No. That's camera.
Okay. I'm just gonna go and get some more bombs while I'm here.
Yeah.
That's a
Okay,
good
so yeah, you need more bombs. You
Yeah.
take 7 bombs to kill Volv, and yeah, he needs more bombs after this. Be very careful here because there are 2 fairies in these other pots. If he gets healed here, he will get a heat timer back, which he does not want. He's got to be very careful not to hit those pots.
Okay.
Luckily,
Let's
let's go.
Take 2.
let's try this again.
Take 1.5.
We got this.
Shorter cutscene though. Let's go.
Yeah.
He doesn't quite show off as much this time.
Yeah, no. Oh, I already did this once. Why do I have to fly around again?
Oh, you're back, are you?
Take out the
Very
trap
sassy
once more.
dragon. Okay, let's try this again. No!
My God, are you kidding
Oh
me?
my god, that's actually so unlucky.
Luckily, that the first phase troll hole is easier than to deal with in the second one. Gotta wait though.
Yeah, so you
for it to go
see,
back down.
you see Nalle here with
Oh, I didn't
delaying his bomb drops and stuff like that, just to
Gotta do,
deal
it's gotta do
with that
4 in
troll
this
or
cycle
something.
now. Got one of those bombs in here.
you
though, so you have
serious?
to do 4
Oh my
here.
God.
No, it's just how the fight works.
wow. Honestly, I'm not this kind
Nice.
of well.
Very nice.
Hey.
Very nice save.
Very
That
nice.
was that was
that
a
was
very
close.
hard version of that fight.
Yeah. So normally, in other speedruns, you have a lot of health to work with. So if you go troll hole, you can just roll away through the lava pit, take like a core heart damage, no matter. In this, you can't. You just have to go around, slowly go around, and hope you don't get hit. So it's a little harder to deal with in this category.
Not only are you avoiding the lava, but you're avoiding the dragon and all of the explosives that you're dropping to hurt the dragon.
Yeah.
It's just a minefield, man. So good job.
It's rough.
Yeah, this fight is pretty hard.
Yeah, it's one of the big run killers in this category. Conveniently enough, after the cutscene, you put in the perfect position to just OI onto the warp from that position.
Yeah, it's pretty
And from
crazy.
here-
Also, we
Another
got
cutscene
some
skip.
nuts. This
Your
is-
camera shifted. It's okay.
It might
Is
be
it?
fine.
Okay, so we're watching the cutscene, but that's
Watching
the better
cutscene,
version. That's the better version of
fine,
this.
yeah.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I think you got like, was there a crit whip or something like that maybe?
Something weird.
I don't know.
I think you just, because like, I don't know, it's weird. Either way, he's going for a cutscene skip there, which would actually run-warped him to Forest Temple, because that's what happens when you cutscene skip him.
Yeah, I think that was a
definitely
crit
skip in
wiggle
Fire Temple.
on the exact frame that you targeted, which
Yeah.
is very unfortunate. So
It's unfortunate.
the game is throwing all the crap at you right now.
Yeah,
Nalle.
this is going,
the game just hates you.
So what happened there is something called a critical wiggle. Now, when you have 1 heart or less, and the camera is zoomed in, and your hearts are beeping, and the game is telling you get health, every 256 frames, the game will apply a random leftward skew to your input on purpose. It's literally just coded right in there, very explicitly. No one knows why anyone thought that was a good idea, but basically what happened there to Nalle is he was doing a setup that involved, not
Holding
necessarily
up
precise.
for like 1 or 2 frames.
It's not precise, but it just needs to be right. And the game was like, nah, this is the 256th frame, dude. So we're gonna send you a different direction.
Yeah. It sucks. Crit wiggles are just baffling while they're in the game. But they exist,
well.
you try and work around them. Luckily, Fire Temples are very short cutscenes. You're going to fail any cutscene skip in the game. This one's perfectly fine to fail. Anyway,
I'll
just
throw
more nuts
another
here.
nut there for good measure.
Yeah.
More nuts. I wonder whether anyone in the audience can guess what we're throwing nuts for at this point, and why we need 13 of them.
If you're thinking what I'm thinking,
Fingers
the
on
answer is
buzzers.
yes.
Yeah, fingers on buzzers for item 13. First person to get it can feel great about themselves about being such a nerd.
Does that make me a nerd?
I mean, yeah, of course. But we don't need
Yeah,
that.
I guess I'm speedrunning, so yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and we're here commentating, so we're all nerds.
Comes with the territory, I'm afraid, really.
Exactly.
Oh, come on.
Something we haven't mentioned is we're breaking all these Deku sticks, and they're turning into broken Goron swords against the wall.
Oh yeah.
Uh,
Oh yeah.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
just the game just has like a model for what happens when you break a sword type item, I guess, as child and adult, and the adult version is broken giant's knives. The child version is broken deck sticks. So.
I have metal sticks.
I mean, they certainly sound like metal against the wall, so...
Yeah. So, just doing some more RBA here. Again, more sticks. Now has 11 sticks again. And once again, he's got 13 Deca Nuts. So, when he gets back forward in time, he's going to assign item 13 to his B button. Which is a very important item.
Oh, yeah.
Probably the best item you can have on the B button.
Probably. It's...
and
very,
we'll
very,
explain
very
why very, very shortly.
Let me guess. It's
Yeah?
Picto box.
man.
Lens of Truth.
Magic beans.
The Tingle Tuner.
Tingle Tuner on B. That would be something.
That would be sick, man. Tingle Tuner on B. You've had too much Wind Waker down there.
Ball and chain. Ball and chain. I've got
Ball and chain. You're right. It's Roswind. It's Roswind. So, for those who don't know, Roswind is a fairy spell in this game. It requires magic to use. When you use it, you set a warp point at the last entrance, at the entrance you came into that room through. And when you use it again, you can recall back to that point again. If you know anything about run warps and cutscene skips, I've been explaining this run, you may see where we're going with this. And much of the same way you can use a death to skip a cutscene into run warp, you can also use Thrall's Wind to do the exact same thing. And it's going to allow us to do some really, really fun warping around the map.
Yeah.
You might be wondering...
Warps. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, that's fine. You might be wondering if it's so sort of broken, why didn't the developers fix this? But well, the answer is they did, and they stopped you from using it in quite critical places. So it's usually one of these restricted items where you can only use it inside dungeons, and you can only use it inside certain rooms of dungeons. So, for example, I don't think you can use it inside boss rooms.
You can't use it in boss rooms, no.
Yeah, you can't use it in boss rooms, and you can't use it in the overworld. But as you can see here, Nalle is very clearly using it in the overworld where it's not supposed to be. Now, this doesn't break anything if you use it normally. So if you Nalle press B now and walk back to Lost Woods, nothing would be wrong. But it's when you use this in conjunction with other stuff that, you know, things like blue warp, stuff like that, that it starts to go wrong. But because it's on B, it's not a restricted item, so he can use this thing absolutely anywhere, and that's where the power comes from.
Technically not absolutely anywhere. It's anywhere that you can normally use your sword, which actually is restricted in a few areas, such as like houses and shops.
I know, not Temple of Time. That's
Temple of Time you can use it in. You can't use it in houses and shops. Are the two places you can't use it, I believe.
Yeah, and the reason this is so powerful is because wrong warps in this game depend a lot on... They depend on basically two things. Where you are intended to be going, or what cutscene is about to be playing, and the exit you're taking from the room. And so because we can Pharaoh's Wind out of a dungeon to wherever we want, wherever we've set Pharaoh's Wind, we have tons of options as to where the destination of the wrong warps are. So we sort of just have like build your own wrong warp capabilities at this point.
You may have noticed when Nalle set Thrall's Wind in Lost Woods, he actually exited the Kukuri Forest and entered through the Lost Woods again. That actually is very important because run warps and it was really taken into account not only where it is set, but what entrance you came from. And so it's very important that he left and re-entered Lost Woods before setting it, because that actually is very important for this upcoming run warp. You also saw that he used a Hess to clip into Deku Tree. And here he's doing... Not an easy trick, no, it's actually pretty precise. Kind of tricky to pull off.
Oh my god.
Oh!
This run is fantastic so far.
It's going great.
This is another example of a mega flip. A lot of speed off a bomb that you can flip out of. It's actually enough speed to clip you through certain walls. As showcased.
Unequipped boots.
Oh yeah, unequipped Kukuri boots.
Hopefully that, I think... Hopefully you'll make it.
Oh my god.
Oh no, dude.
Maybe
Thrall's Wind out. No, Thrall's Wind's out.
Oh yeah,
go back to the Lost
Go to the warp point and reset it.
Very bad.
Yeah, reset Thrall's Wind and just farm bombs in the grass. It's unfortunate. You have to unequip. So normally Nalle does a side up there. He doesn't normally just back walk. Both work, but sometimes a bit faster. But it's somewhat precise. So it's just not used to unequipping hover booster.
Yeah, I felt like it would be a good idea to do the safer strat, considering everything that's happened.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Okay, it's a patch of
but
grass here you can use to farm bombs.
apparently I messed that up too, so...
Man, your bomb luck is looking like my bomb luck right now. Which is to say terrible.
When you go for safety strats, especially if you're like Dank said earlier, like Nalle is sort of gunning for a very good time. A lot of these safety strats aren't second nature to him because if he failed the big boy strat, then he'd just reset. So
Yeah.
a lot of these so-called safety strats are kind of not sort of native to him yet, I would say.
I did a lot of like practicing quality stuff as well, but
Okay, that should be enough.
apparently not enough. Alright, let's try this again.
Remember, we also got Paul. Oh, no, that's fine. I was gonna say you need Paul's and Goma's room, but that's just for Ganondorf. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Ignore me. I'm so used to just being... that being the case, you know?
Such a Ganondorf main, Greg.
Hey man, what to tell you?
You ever run a through Ganondorf?
Okay, yeah, that was unfortunate.
That's weird.
That's...
What is this?
I'm just very confused. In this
Yeah.
Things are
That was
happening.
wild.
Things are happening. Things
Nalle
are in
did
motion that I
Sarah's
cannot
main character,
understand.
Yeah.
This is a Nalle run, alright.
The closer the decomp gets to finishing, the more the game starts to fight back, I think.
That's a sign.
This is just VC giving a last hurrah.
Oh no, okay. It should be fine still.
I don't
right?
know if this works with the
you
target.
know, we'll find out.
Oh,
It does,
there
look
we
at
go.
that.
And he's
Look at
wrong!
Easy peasy.
The 360.
Oh,
Targeting something is one of the few things that can like desync your ESS increments, you know?
yeah. That should be fine.
That should be fine, yeah. So a small thing here, he's actually equipping Silk Shot. And that one, because he needs to equip nuts anyway, but also two, he wants to get away from the vines to avoid reading the vine text from Navi. And when you put an item away, it prevents Navi from talking to you. Oh, I'm buffered.
Ooh, alright.
Alright. Nice had enough.
This is my
Oh,
comfort zone.
and the side hop. And the
I
side
really-
hop.
Snagging the
this is-
confidence right back.
Yeah, no, but this is my comfort zone. Just doing
Nanny
dumb
says fuck
shit,
safety
so-
strats.
What I mean though, like sometimes safety strats, especially when you just don't do them normally, and when they're not in your muscle memory, it's kind of the opposite of what you want.
Yeah. But that worked out. So now we're here.
Yeah, now we're fighting Goma.
First boss of the game.
Yeah, first boss of the game. Looks pretty hard though. You might struggle with this one, man. She looks pretty angry at you.
Yeah, pretty big. Honestly, one of the most terrifying bosses in the game, and it's quite weird that they put her first. Like, I don't think any other boss is actually quite as on a base level quite as sort of terror-inducing. Maybe Bongo.
Maybe. I don't know. It depends how you feel about spiders. You're kind of mini bosses in Dead Hands is worse. I think Dead Hands worse. You're kind of mini bosses.
Dead Hand is terrifying. Okay, so
So he uses Thrall's Wind, Edge of the Warp, similar to use No Eye, and now when he recalls Thrall's Wind, this happens. So look at that. We're in Desert Colossus.
Wait, Nalle, did you set FW in Desert Colossus earlier?
no. I settled it in
No.
the forest, but, you know, with the times are changing.
Climate change, I guess, yeah.
Yeah, it's a bitch, man. The forest is over there somewhere. It's just overtaken.
Yeah. The sands.
Just all dried up.
Hey friends, just
Hello.
quickly want to come in and remind everybody why we're here. We're here to gather donations for the Pank One Network, a foundation trying to combine resources from science and the medical field to learn more about pancreatic cancer, understand it better, and improve treatment options. A really dear cause near to my heart. And please, if you can, consider to donate. We are only $1,800 away from 10K, which would be absolutely insane. There's a few bid wars still open. The incentive for Majora's Mask 100% to have the Majora fight be blindfolded, which would be nuts. That's $668.20 out of $1,800. There's also a bid war for the file name with 8 characters. There, you can win great prizes. The grand prize is a Nintendo Switch OLED, so the new model, which should be amazing.
Perfect for running OT tomorrow, I might say.
Yeah.
Also-
Nalle, that scared me a little bit. not
My
gonna
heart
lie.
stopped
when you
hovered over the Master Sword.
I was like, no.
Yeah, that would have been very, very, very
I was terrified. Dude. I was like, luckily
Also-
you didn't press A.
Yeah.
Greg, just saying, if you keep swearing, I'm gonna fucking kill you.
Hey man, I've only sworn once, okay?
Don't say the fuck word. Oh my god.
I didn't know. I've been a good boy.
Anyway, so I just nutted on some statues and blew them up. That's
Yeah.
pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's pretty wild, man.
Pretty wild.
That's pretty
It's not
wild.
November yet, so I can do that.
Yeah.
Soon.
It was very well coded. So that just works.
I have no idea why.
It just works.
It just works. This all just works. Oh, nice. Got the fin as well.
I missed!
He missed a bomb. Oh no!
I missed the bomb
you got the cool fin, but you missed the bomb fin.
Try that again.
Alright, yeah, screw that guy. Yeah, so if you talk to Navi, when you hit a switch, it actually just lets you move around before, and then drop the cutscene.
Oh, you got storage. Nice.
Yeah, not the cool storage like you can do in Wind Waker, but storage nonetheless.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Storage versus the storage she tells you not to worry about, am I right?
Alright, so here, now he's doing a statue climb. It's a trick to obviously climb the statue. He has to break his stick first because he needs to be able to reuse it. Oh, and falls off. Nice. So he needs to be able to use it multiple times. So he has to... Oh, that pot's not there. You can throw a heart.
It's fine.
Yeah, you're fine, you're fine. Like, bear in mind, you're dead to hit anyway, so regardless. Doesn't really matter.
Let's try that again.
Yeah, try that again.
I feel like that's just the motto of this run.
Let's try that again. Go for the ISG this time. Ooh.
Ah!
You stuck.
Oh,
Nice, okay. That's close. So yeah, he has to break his stick, so he can use this multiple times to hit stuff. Otherwise, he would get like recoiled off and break too many sticks.
This boss key skip.
Oh yeah.
If you backflip and then backflip again on the first time you land here, you can clip through this out of bounds and flip back inbound.
Bounce.
We're just showing off the other BK skip also.
Yeah,
just
you're
for
supposed to
fairness.
just sort of walk behind the boss door there.
It's really broken. Just do it.
Yeah, you're supposed to walk sort of out of bounds behind the boss door there, but Nalle unfortunately flipping back inbound. So you can show you the old one as well. This is what the boomers used to do back in the day. Before this was found, but the story of it is quite interesting because I think was it one of our
Get off the Navi
famous
thing aside.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's
good
it,
idea.
yeah. So, luckily there's a backup for this. You just have to do a bomb hover, and then you can clip through the door from here.
Okay.
Nice,
Cool.
stick him in there.
I didn't think you were going to stick there.
Yeah, me
Yeah.
neither. That's why I paused for a second there.
Yeah, so when you do hovers like this, you have to... If you're too low to the ground, then you won't actually stay in midair, you actually just fall down. Because again, when you're hovering, you have like a lot of downward momentum. And so if you're too close to the ground, you just snap to it. But it has enough height that you can just stick in midair. Oh yeah, hovering is something we didn't really talk about. We have ISG and your shield damage in midair, you just stick in midair.
It just works.
It just works.
Also, I don't really know how long, what the timer's at right now. I haven't really been checking.
D1
126.
I'm just a bit worried if I'm going to go over estimate, and if that's going to be a problem.
I'm sure there's contingencies for it.
Might be sort of a bit over, I guess.
I actually have to jet. I had some. It's my dad's birthday, so I'm going out for my dad's birthday. He's
Happy
eating
birthday, Dad.
Korean barbecue for the first time, which is exciting. He's just a white guy, so we'll see how that goes.
Well, say happy birthday to him.
Happy birthday, Daddy
Will
D.
do. Nalle, your
Happy
birthday
birthday.
is awesome. Sorry about the mistakes, dude.
Oh,
and
go
I'll,
for this.
See you guys later.
Alright, see ya, Danny.
Alright,
Take care,
have a
man.
good
Have a good one. Actually going for this, wow. Okay,
It's fine.
fair enough. So,
so,
if Infinity went wrong there, he would get by Naburu and died and lost his FW on B, which would have been bad. But he's fine. So yeah, that
Chair.
that's that cutscene skip there. If you have shot the Buru there next to that wall, you can clip out of bounds, and the bomb will damage her. Then take off the last little bit of health, and so she'll die, and then you just fall out of bounds and reload the room. Skip the cutscene. It takes about 25 seconds or so. And now we're in the worst boss fight in the game.
Oh yeah.
Twin Rover is like the best boss fight in a casual playthrough. In speedruns, she fucking sucks.
Greg, Trez specifically told you to not do that.
I don't care about Trez.
Wow.
Wow.
So yeah, Twin Rover is pretty random. They fly around in random patterns, and you have to kind of adjust on the fly to how they're flying. You can manipulate them somewhat with hookshot to keep them in places so in your eyesight. But for the most part, you have to just kind of rely on luck.
Yeah,
and there are situations. Sorry, go on.
Sorry, go ahead.
I say there's situations where they'll just fly around the room and do nothing.
Like this.
Like this, to just fly around and do nothing for a little bit for no reason. And then opposite ends.
It's one of those things where, like I say, what Greg was saying, like, actually these guys are really fun to fight. But there's one thing that in a speed game you hate more than anything, and it's RNG. And these guys are literally just pure RNG. There's nothing. There are certain things you can do to sort of hold them where they are, but you have no control over where they go. They can loiter for a completely random amount of time. They don't have to shoot you for a completely random amount of time.
Yeah.
I think there's a few clips around, like if you follow the scene at all, of Twin Rover just literally like floating around doing nothing for like 40 seconds or so, and there's nothing you can do to control that. And like 40 seconds in a run like this is just it's awful, salvageable.
Yeah. Also, fun fact. So, Rover takes once you hit either of them, you need to land 4 hits on either of them to succeed the fight. You can land 4 hits on them. They'll keep going.
No.
Oh, they'll just keep going. They'll keep firing shots at you and keep flying around. And that almost happened there. But there are clips of people land their 4th shot and then sitting there for like 30 seconds while they fly around the room firing shots at you because they just do not stop firing shots.
Yeah,
it's actually disgusting.
But the boss is incredibly well coded and incredibly badly coded at the same time. It's quite funny.
Yeah, it's a mess of spaghetti.
Yeah. But this phase is extremely consistent, which is in massive juxtaposition to first phase. She will always fire 3 identical shots at you in the first phase if you don't damage her.
Nice.
So, like I say, this first phase you can get extremely consistent because she will always fire 3 of the same at you. So, if you do the same thing every time, you'll be fine.
Saying, I didn't really understand what people said, or like when they've been talking about like marathon curse and stuff like that in a lot of these runs. Now I know.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
Oh my god.
Like the worst shit, man. I will say this run is not indicative of Nalle's skill in this game. He's actually very, very fucking good at this game. He's getting very unlucky. He's just getting very unlucky this run.
You're just trying to make me feel good, Greg.
I am trying to make you feel good. Is it working?
The problem is, like,
I don't mind it.
Okay.
Keep going.
Runs can be the problem with this category is that it's so hard to gauge skill off one run because like some runs are going to be like insane pace if you don't feel anything, but then it just snowballs so hard. Like one thing leads to another, and then when you're forced to continue it snowballs, and it's so difficult, especially in a run this dense. Like I say, most other runs will have like breaks where you have to watch cutscenes, where you have to sort of do things that aren't player controlled, but because we have so many tools available, even without SRM, to skip things, to do stuff, it's all most of the run is human control. So there's almost no downtime.
Yeah, and so
actually has the lowest cutscene percentage, I think.
It does, I believe. It used to before SRM. I'm not sure about now, but I think at the time it had like a 17% cutscene ratio. Which for this game is that's quite a lot. Low. Because considering that you have an unavoidable 3-minute intro and an unavoidable 4-minute must or cutscene.
Yeah.
It's actually kind of surprising. But yeah, he didn't have a cutscene skip there from Spirit Temple. He didn't get a run warp. You can only run warp from the 3 child dungeons and Fire Temple. And that's because need to be loaded to another area in order to run warp. And the other dungeons take you to the Chamber of Sages immediately, which doesn't let you run warp. Whereas Fire Temple takes you to Kakariko, or cutscene in Kakariko, Deku takes you to Kakiri Forest, Dongo's Cavern takes you to Deathman Trail, and then Jabu Jabu takes you to Zora's Fountain. So you have other areas to use, like other cutscenes to run warp, to use run warps with, but other dungeons don't work for that. So like Spirit, Shadow. Oh!
Nice slide. Billie Jean.
No.
No.
Okay, wait, hold on. Let me just get rid of this guy.
This guy's a pain in the ass.
I hate Tectites, dude. I hate him so much.
Tectites are the worst.
This run's a marvel of
Yeah.
gaming skill, I have to say.
So yeah, War Temple, very, very short. You can just do that and skip right to the boss. It's pretty quick. Oh my god.
Putting a fairy in a real bottle there. So Danny mentioned earlier that Nalle already had a fairy in a fake bottle. And Danny mentioned earlier that those fairies won't revive you.
Are you
These
serious?
fairies being a massive troll.
There we go.
So those fairies... The fairies in fake bottles won't revive you, but it will revive you if you have that fake fairy equipped and you have a real fairy. So now Nalle has both prerequisites for that fake fairy to actually heal him. He has the fake fairy, and he has a real fairy. So if he needs it, that fake fairy will heal him if it's equipped. Nice. And another boss key skip there, similar to, well, literally exactly the same
as we get to see in this temple, which you're not supposed to... Should mention, if you're actually curious what a good run of this looks like, I recently made a human theory task of this category. If you want to see how it looks like executed, like
is this a plug for your YouTube channel?
Yes.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah, it works for me. I'm fine with that.
Anyway, so here's Morpha.
Yeah, it's Morpha. Morpha's also kind of annoying. They will spawn in the same place, but then they'll move from this cutscene to a random position at like 5 positions. It's actually a pretty good one. It's pretty close by. You want them to spawn close to the corner where you are here. If they spawn in the middle, it's really annoying. You have to get close and pull them away back. But the goal here is to just drag them to the corner so you can just unlock them.
I'm pretty bad at it though, so hopefully this works.
It's awkward. The second's pretty awkward. Nice.
Easy.
Yeah, because obviously he has sticks, he can't waste him using ISG to kill instead, so he doesn't break too many sticks. That's actually way easier with sword. You can just crouch stab it endlessly. And once again, do another cutscene skip on this blue warp using Thrall's Wind. He set Thrall's Wind before entering the dungeon, so you warp back to Lake Hylia after this.
I think I'm pretty low on bombs, so I might actually have
to
farm some in.
You're at like 8 or so, I think. You might have to farm in Lake Hylia.
I'm gonna farm some in Lake Hylia.
Probably should.
Just in case, considering my luck so far.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
Woo!
No, nice.
Ooh.
That was not scary at all.
Yeah, so he has one frame. He has one frame to press B when entering the warp. If he presses B one frame too late, it warps to the warp and watches the cutscene. Which is actually pretty bad for War Temple because the lake refills, and he needs the lake to be drained.
Yeah. If the water fills here, it's pretty bad.
Bombs, yeah, good.
Yeah, so I was just going to say, you might have noticed that a lot of the other warps Nalle didn't have that one frame window to press them. It's because these blue warps, they have a certain timer. Well, not a timer really, but it's kind of the same thing where if you stand in it before a certain time has passed, they won't take you away straight away. So Nalle, on a lot of these warps, so in Deku Tree, I think in Jabu as well.
Runners in shambles.
DC.
Stuff like that. Yeah, DC. When the warps are really close by, you have enough time to just walk over to them or, roll over to them and press the B button and just wait. But for water, it's in the middle of that room, in the middle of the pit. So you don't have enough time. So as soon as you touch it, it will take you away. So you only have that one frame to press B on specific warps that are quite far away.
Yeah.
Same in Spirit as well, I think.
Spirit you can walk into if you're quick enough.
Can you? Ooh, yeah. I didn't realize that one.
Yeah. massive verticam. So yeah,
Yeah,
once
like
again,
this run.
yeah, it's not bad actually. So once again, he left Lake Hylia and re-entered it because he needs that exact entrance to make the next one warp one. The one warp he's using with Thrall's Wind to make that one work.
Oh my god.
Oh my god!
MST runners and shambles.
Yeah, for real. So in the current MST route, fastest MST route, you have to farm bombs in Lake Hylia, which obviously costs you a lot of time if you get bad RNG, and now you just got ridiculous RNG. Is he going for it? Oh, he's going for it. Going for it.
Do you want to discuss that?
No, I'm not.
There, Greg, or are we just going to gloss over it?
Okay, yeah. So that was something called a super slide teleport. Because he hasn't got a strength upgrade, when he tries to pick up grass, he can't pick it up. And so he did something called a super slide, which is you use grab storage to preserve speed and go backwards really fast. It's got like a hairspin in one direction. If you do a super slide and get far enough away from the bush, and then let go of shield, you get teleported back to it, but your vertical position stays the same. And because he'd already gone down that slope, his position was lower, so he just went underground and respawned underground, and was able to just jump slash him into the load zone to take you to Source Domain. That was actually very useful. It was used a lot before Hookshot Jump into Shadow Temple was found to get into Shadow Temple. Used to do a simple teleport off the grass there to get into Shadow Temple early.
Speaking of getting into dungeons when you're not supposed to, Jabu's Adult, this is a real mindfuck to watch because
Also free.
it's there is a there is a tiny piece of load zone that you can hit, and it's just under the ice. So you can do some interesting movement with a bomb, some hover boot unequips and re-equips, and some jump slashes to just barely touch it. It's also kind of fucky as well because you actually need a pause somewhere in there because the ice physics changes depending on if you pause or not, which it's buffering over
weird.
time. I don't know what you expect really. So you can't do that trick unbuffered because you need to pause for the ice physics to let you through.
Yeah. By the
Also,
way,
I'm pretty sure we are officially overestimated now.
You are.
Let's go!
Let's go!
We did it, Reddit. Also, if you fancy a good laugh, you can watch how OOT 3D enters Jabu's Adult. It is the funniest shit.
Yeah, they said, wait, you've got a bit of exposed load zone. What if you just made that bigger?
Yeah. What's cool is that Enter Jabu's Adult has come a long way in the last couple of years. There used to be some really dumb methods involving multiple hovers and just like buffering frames for like a minute straight. And now it's just, I don't know, just do a mega side up and just jump slash, I don't know, it just works.
Yeah.
It's just works. It's pretty good.
So, as much as I joked about this run being not very good, we are coming up to the end. This is the second to last dungeon. And the last dungeon goes by in like under a minute, so that doesn't really count.
Yeah.
So we are pretty close to the end now.
Yeah, we're not far off. Unfortunately, Jabu...
Big old hitbox. If you
Yeah.
didn't know. It's, that can hit switches, by the way.
So unfortunately, you can't really do much here other than just go through the dungeon to get Boomerang. We do need Boomerang. You can't defeat Baronade without Boomerang. And you can't get into the room that has Boomerang without Ruto, because the switch is coded in such a way that you need Ruto exactly to open the door. So nothing to do except to go through this escort quest and take it to the switch.
Yeah, not much of this game is actually hard-coded. It's why it gives us so much freedom to do adult dungeons, child dungeons as adult, things like that. But oddly enough, this one Ruto switch is specifically hard-coded that Ruto is just 100% required. There's literally nothing the switch will take other than Ruto. So it's still one of the more resilient checks in the game. There's absolutely nothing that you can do to get past this switch other than Ruto.
Shout out to the God Dev.
Yep.
Alright. And this is all to get Boomerang.
Yeah. Which we're going to use to fight Baronade.
Nalle, are you gonna do it for the fans or not?
What?
You know what?
No.
Oh,
Yes!
the bait is so hard.
Yes! I'm so proud of you.
There we go.
Thank you.
Yeah, double Y. The Ruto just lost my spirit. Animal for a second there.
Whoa, we can't call it an animal.
She's a fish.
She's a fish person.
The,
She has feelings too.
well, I mean,
think.
so do dogs, but they don't mind being called animals.
I don't know what dogs. I don't think they realise they're being called animals though. Is that
No.
like, is it like one of those Schrodinger's things where like if they don't know it, then
Schrodinger's
It
dog.
doesn't really exist.
Yeah, Schrodinger's dog.
exactly.
If he doesn't know it's being called an
Famous
animal.
Schrodinger's dog.
yeah,
Everyone knows Schrodinger's dog, right?
same
Oh yeah,
thing.
classic.
This Switch, on the other hand, not hard coded for a box,
Yeah, you can just
Yeah.
step on this. And also,
and
because
it's literally just close enough for one roll and one frame to get through it, which is extremely convenient.
yeah, so you can skip having to pick up that box. As an adult, it's not that big of a deal because you can use hover boots to carry the box over. But as a child, you have to find some creative. That's pretty much required. You just want to defeat Big Octo and go on the top of the dungeon and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But here's Baronade.
Oh yeah.
Baronade
A way
in this category.
scarier, a way scarier, quote unquote, last boss than Ganon will ever be.
Yeah, so Baronade in this category is wild because obviously we still got Frost with a B, we haven't got a sword to do any damage to it. So we need to use Deco Sticks to damage it. However, we also need Boomerang to stun it in the first place. But you can't equip swap both Boomerang and Stick off the same item at the same time. So you have to get creative, you have to constantly equip swap between Boomerang and Stick in order to do this fight properly. It gets kind of ridiculous.
Oh.
Or it happens sometimes.
Actually, let me be very safe about this.
Yeah, that's fine.
Oh no! Oh no! Oh, no. Okay. This might get weird.
Just remember
All
where
right.
back is.
Maybe
There's
also
also
get lucky. Nice.
Yeah, so I should also mention that Nalle at the end of this, as is customary for this category, is going to be trying to do a wrong warp.
Yeah.
But the funny thing about a lot of bosses actually is that the position the blue warp spawns is actually dependent on where you kill them. Now, a lot of other bosses don't really have much space to maneuver, or we kill them so fast it doesn't matter. Baronade has none of those restrictions. It moves extremely quickly, and the room is very big. So it does matter where Nalle actually kills Baronade.
Oh, that's
And
fine.
it does matter whether you die. I guess
That's fine.
That's
'cause
fine. That's fine.
You have another fairy you can use. That's fine.
Yeah, so that's fine. I'm not panicking. I don't know whether you were panicking or not. But it matters where Baronade dies because the blue warp needs to be in a specific location, and Baronade's death location is sort of determines that.
Oh, nice. Alright, so similar to the
Should be
Armos.
good. That should be good.
Yeah, similar to the Armos and Spirit Temple with the nuts, you can, if you use Thrall's Wind, as the Boomerang hits Baronade the first time it hits him, then it just kills it instantly.
So
But
you're
you
gonna
need
have
to,
to
you need to
damage
get to
down
this
a
point first. Yeah. Unfortunately, you need to damage down. Okay, the warp's in the correct spot. But you just need to be a half a heart here. Also, be careful entering the blue warp. You haven't got enough time to walk into it anymore, so...
I'm gonna be careful about that.
Careful.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
so
gonna
usually
be
if you
Okay, you can't go too far over here. Should be fine.
Then I need to equip swap this fairy.
Yeah.
remember to sort of yeah.
Nice.
Okay, that's good.
That should be fine. So he needs to die on this edge of this warp. Because Ruto blocks the blue warp. You have to talk to Ruto and go for her text boxes. And she'll constantly try and pull you back into the warp and try and talk to you. You have to constantly look away from her and not let her pull you back in. Now he's got damage buffer using Thrall's Wind here.
You have to die twice before
and
Ruto
then
lets you go.
can activate her text and then die again. Now the text is active, but he's no longer being pulled back into the warp, so he can move around freely. However, he cannot advance his text any further. Otherwise, he will start to take him away.
Yeah, if
The
I
warp
advance this
activate.
twice,
Yeah, the warp will activate. So he activates it once there to get into a setup. So now he's going to use his bomb to clip through the wall here. And they do this method instead.
yeah, that should be good.
Now, use the boomerang as a visual cue. Activate the
Yeah,
warp.
it's good.
And then wait. Just pause buffer until you see the first frame of the blue warp. Like so.
There it is.
And
No.
just
And
backflip.
then this time.
And
Oh, is this
should
the backflip one? Oh, this is sick.
And now he's in Ding Dongo's boss room.
Yeah, so I should point out that the boomerang is
Well
such
done.
a good cue, because when you will have a text box up and a boomerang in hand, if you hit C up, it will advance the text box and release the boomerang on the same frame. So it's an extremely consistent way of sort of being able to almost one pause this every time, because the boomerang will be in the exact same animation every single time.
Yeah, the boomerang isn't required for that. It just helps you time when the warp's gonna start taking you away, because there's no visual cue for you to use otherwise.
And AD, the worst final boss of all time.
Yeah, he's the final boss of the run, because if you always have Ganon, you fought wrong.
Yeah, he kind of sucks. He's just a bad boss design in general.
It's just a big pig, who cares?
Yeah.
Ah, I didn't get the fin.
Alright. Yeah, King Dodongo is by far the easiest boss in the game. Kind of just a victory lap after doing Barricade, because Barricade is very complicated.
Yeah.
And finish it off with a, probably just a complicated wrong warp and just a lot of points of failure. But I got the wrong warp.
Yeah. So I would say
Now-
Nalle made that look easy, but it actually is pretty complicated and tricky to pull off.
Now, time is going to come up
Yeah, very, very shortly.
very, very shortly.
Yeah.
So
A lot
warp
of things
into
come
this warp.
together here, because, like I say, we can warp. Danny said earlier, we have a lot of control over where
Alright.
these wrong warps can take us with FW,
Yeah.
and it can
And-
also take us
Time.
Time. To the
to
credits.
the end.
Well done, the game's
Okay,
over. You did
only
it.
like 10 minutes
Well
the
done.
rest of it.
Well done, dude. that was kind of rough in places, but that's
Yeah.
expected with this category. But well done, man. You made for a lot of the hard shit, no problem.
Okay,
You can breathe. You can breathe. Don't worry.
I can breathe now.
Agreed.
So yeah, remember when we said at the beginning that only the 8 main dungeons count for all dungeons, and that Ganon's castle doesn't count as a dungeon? Because of that, Ganon as a boss doesn't count either. So Ganon is not required for this run. We just warp to the credits.
And he's
Job
gone.
done.
Ganon is gone. Crab song.
Ganon is gone. Crabs. Crab emoji.
Yeah.
All right. GG,
Sorry
Nalle.
about that. Thank you.
It happens. It's all good.
Hope it was fun to listen to at least.
It was. Need to work on the constant F-bombs from Mutant, but
It's in his genes.
yeah,
I don't
what
know,
the hell,
he's
man?
British, can't help
I
it.
only dropped like
Like
at
12,
least
that's
2.
fine.
I'm just glad he hasn't stabbed anyone.
Oh, okay.
I've still got time.
Alrighty. Thank you again. We're gonna wrap up here to get on with the marathon. I want to thank Nalle, Greg, Aura, and
Aura?
our. What?
Who calls him Aura? No one calls him Aura.
Tress calls him Aura. That's his new
What the hell,
name.
Trez?
Did I say Aura?
calls me Aura. What the fuck?
Did I say Aura? Okay.
There's no one.
Mutant and, okay. Did I say Aura? Okay. Mutant and Danny, of course. So without further ado, let's actually dive back into the break screen. Thank you all for watching so far. Up next is the Oracles randomizer with Mashi, Supreme Shieldin, and Boy. See you soon.